Hi, it's Husky here. Today we'll be making homemade burgers with sour cream and spring onion sauce. We will start by preparing the dough for our buns for the burgers. In order to do that, get a quarter of a glass of water, a half a glass of milk, around 50 grams of butter, and put it up on a heat in the pot. Then get a bowl, add 2 glasses of flour. It does not need to be sieved. Around 4 grams of instant yeast and a tablespoon of sugar. Once the butter melted in the pot, you can start mixing in all the dry ingredients while lowering down the heat on the pot, and we will need to add it up to our dry mixture. You literally need to do that until the butter is melted. Once you have that done, you might want to give it a mix. For some people, they really like to eat it with an beaten egg added to the mixture as well. I don't believe it is necessary, not for the texture and the flavors that we're looking for in here. Now, remember to mix it in with a spoon at first while the milk is hot. But once you actually get it all combined together, you can switch over to the hand, and it should only be nice and warm in the hand, and just keep beating it down for a while. What we want to get here is pretty much take all the flour and all the mixture that we've made into one pulp, so that's gonna take you probably a minute or two. Once you have that done, the bowl pretty much doesn't have any left over there. Put some flour on the clean surface and we'll need to knead the dough. The process is quite simple. Just keep beating it down, make sure that you cover it with bits of flour for it not to stick. And then you want to be folding it and beating down, folding it and beating down, just until everything is nice and smooth. Kneading the dough for around 7-8 minutes, you will be able to form it into one dough ball, which you want to cut in 4 the same sized pieces. What we'll do with those gonna be pretty much our burgers. We want to form them into balls themselves. Try to close it at the bottom where possible, and just make 4 of those. Now we would like to prepare our oven dish in which we're gonna be baking the burgers, and we want to get a sheet of baking paper and we want to make a mess out of it. The reason for that is when it is in a full piece, it is so much harder to fit it into the dish. But if you actually mess it up a little, it's gonna fit in perfectly, or it's gonna be much easier to do so. We will want to put our dough balls with a good bit of space in between of them onto the baking sheet. And we want to cover them with a towel and leave for around an hour. If you're impatient, you can leave it for half an hour.
A few moments later.
Once our dough balls have rose, we want to put them into a preheated oven at 200 degrees for around 12 minutes.
A few moments later.
To check if your rolls are cooked, get a chopstick and poke them in the middle. If it comes out dry, then it's cooked. Now we want to start preparing our meat. We are using a 12% fat beef, and we want to chop it down a bit so that it's gonna be easier to form it in the burgers. We're also gonna season it with sea salt, black pepper and a bit of thyme. We're also gonna add up egg so that everything sticks together quite well and stays as a burger. Now we'll form our burgers. From 600 grams of beef, we'll make 4 of them. So they're gonna be around 150 grams each. And do try to keep them around the size of our buns. Now that we got them done, we want to start getting ready our sauce. We're gonna make it from spring onions, sour cream, salt, pepper, and a pinch of parsley. We use around 200 grams of sour cream, a handful of spring onion, a pinch of salt, pinch of black pepper, pinch of parsley. Quite straightforward. Time to prepare the tomatoes and lettuce, which gonna be another toppings for our burger. I am using a beef tomato because of its kind of sweetness and juiciness. I think they go great with the burgers. And of course a bit of a iceberg lettuce. Now that we have all the ingredients done, we want to start preheating the oil. It's good to use some sort of neutral oil like a vegetable or a sunflower one, and want to preheat it on a medium-high heat. And once we do that, we of course want to place our burgers on, and do make sure that your burgers don't stick to the pan, or that's gonna ruin them. There is an easy way to tell how cooked your burger is. Just tap it on the top and then compare it with your hand. For this would be rare, that would be medium rare, that's medium, that's a medium done, and that would be well done. Of course you can also use specified timings if you want to cook your burger right, but it's up to you how you're gonna do it. Also, it is a good practice to pour over the hot oil on top of the burgers so that they cook throughout. Now that our burgers are done, we want to come back to our rolls that we left to rest earlier on. It's time to cook them since they should be settled by now. And we will want to fry them a little in the oil from the burgers to soak on the flavor and to make the outside even more crustier. apologize as I by mistake deleted assembly part of the video, but it should be quite straightforward to do. Starting from the bottom, you put a bit of the sauce, lettuce, tomato, burger, more sauce, and top it with the rest of the bun. I hope you will enjoy it. I will see you next week, and bon appetit!